What up, people? It's Nickopz here, and today I'm going to be talking about this abomination, Johnny Cage. But before we get into the video, I would like to point out that I'm recording this video on my PC. I feel like it's easier to record videos on PC, and I like mentioning that in my videos because I don't want people to get confused by the keyboard inputs. So let's get into this abomination of a character, Johnny Cage, and why he is without a doubt the best character in the game and has been the best character since day one, in my personal opinion. Now, a lot of people, they'll just, make a statement, a character is the best, and they won't really go over it. I'm going to completely go over why he's the best. But before I do that, let me give you some stats as well. This character, in the most recent major tournament, ECT, that was East Coast Throwdown, in the top 8, this character was used by 4 different players. He was mained by 3 players, used by 1 more. Out of the top 8 people, this character was used 4 times in top 8. That is crazy stats for this character not to receive any major nerfs. This character was basically untouched. I think he wasn't nerfed at all, actually. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I really do think he was not nerfed at all. And this character is just insane. For a character to be half of your representation out of all the best players like at the tournament is crazy. And not to get any nerfs, but they nerf other characters. Now, it can't even be debated if he's the best to me. Before, you can kind of debate it a bit, but now there is no debate. He is number 1, and he's always been number 1 to me. So let me go over why he's number 1. First of all, he is a overtuned pressure character. He was meant to be a pressure character. And actually, before I get into that, let me talk about his very few weaknesses. He only has 2 weaknesses. He doesn't have a projectile, which doesn't matter, and his wake up is a hot. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let's get into all the strengths. First of all, 9 frame mid. I don't know why NetherRealm Studios keeps giving characters 9 frame comboing mids. Like, every character that has ever got a 9 frame mid in NRS history has been nerfed. Why do you keep giving it to characters? So, in case y'all don't understand why a 9 frame mid is so strong, you basically get very few turns against this character, and when this character is in your face, it's usually his turn. And then when he hits you, he gets very easy damage off of this right here. He just hit confirms into that right there, does that, easy damage off of the fastest combo starting move in the game. So this right here needs to be nerfed to 11 frames, like immediately. Stop giving characters 9 frame mids in RS. You always just nerf them anyway. Kodal in 10, Lou in 11, now Johnny in this game. Like, in order, y'all keep giving characters 9 frame mids, and we see, obviously, it's not healthy for the game. You always nerf it. So this just gives him access to way too much easy pressure, and it's safe too because he can just cancel it into that as well, or he can just hit confirm it when he does this. So also, he has this string right here, which I think is initially fine. The fact that this is 7 frames too is kind of crazy. It's a combo starting plus string. This right here is 3 plus 3 on block. So if he does this right here and then does this after, if you don't poke out, if you don't poke out with this, then he is going to freaking chew that button up. Almost any button is going to be too slow. He's going to chew it up and then do that combo I just showed you right there and get easy damage and then put you in the situation all over again. So that right there being plus 3 and this being 9 frame startup basically means you can only down 1 out of this. And what is he going to do when you start down 1? To try to get out of the insane pressure, he's going to back up and then chew that poke up. He's going to back up, chew the poke up, and then now you just ate 34% or 35%. Like, you eat that much damage. Now, what is your way out of this? Your way is to obviously just armor out if your character has a decent armor move, or when he does this, you hit him with your down 4, your low poke, which can be good, but the guess is usually always in his favor, because if he reads what you're going to do, he gets way more damage for stopping you than you get for stopping him, which is usually fair on a pressure character. But having this easy access to pressure is like just insane. His pressure moves should be different in my opinion, but we're gonna talk about that a little later when we keep going into his strengths. Now, another thing, his combos are just so dang easy as well. Like, and if I drop this combo as I'm saying that, that's gonna be hilarious. But basically, it's just you viciously mash 2-1-2, you jump 2-1-2 again, and then you do this string right here into that. Like, that's his basic B&B. They're so easy to do, and like even the corner stuff, which I'll get to a little later. So that's another thing we're gonna talk about. That's really dumb. This string is crazy. I have barely seen a string that gives you so much in one string. So first of all, this is your combo string. This is how you're gonna get your B&B stuff. And when they're conditioned to take all this pressure right here, then you're gonna start throwing this string. Why are you gonna start throwing this string in? Because it gives you good stagger pressure, which means since after this string, you do this right here, he has a low and an overhead. You can fuzzy guard the low and the overhead. The low comes out much quicker than the overhead, so you can block low and then block high to block the overhead. And another thing people don't know is when he does this string right here, you can actually up block it. So you see him do this, and then you see him do the overhead, you can up block it and get a full punish. So back to what this string does. If he hits you with this right here, and he knows that you're going to try to fuzzy block, which is you're going to try to block low then high to block this, and then this, he's just going to stagger it, grab you. And his grab leaves him at a very good range. A very, very good range. So then also, that's going to make you, not want to move when he does this right here. So then he can do this into the pressure right there, or this into this, and then back up, hit you with the pressure again. Or we're going to talk about Kung Lao Assist later. There's so much to talk about with this broken character. He has so much stuff. So because he has this, which he can also get a combo off of the low. He has the overhead right here, which can open you up, with you trying to fuzzy and not trying to take the low. He can cancel into this move right here, which there are so many assists in the game that makes this low safe. What Johnny has usually always been a character that had to win neutral to get his pressure, and he always had 50-50s based in his strings, but he always had one 50-50 that was unsafe. That is what kept him relatively fair, even though he's been top tier in like the past 2 games. That is what kept him from being overtuned. When he went for a 50-50, he was unsafe usually. Not in this game, because with the cameo system, when he does his main low, which is not unsafe if you want to go for the overhead string after anyway, which let's show you right here. If we scroll all the way down to the starter right here, it's this right here. He can always just throw this out for a quick check anyways. But if he wants damage, he cancels into the uppercut and to the same easy derp string. So now you got an overhead that gets you damage off the string, and you have a low. And if you even don't want to be unsafe, you got a low and then an overhead. So that's the main tools he uses to win. Like this string right here, this string right here, and this string right here. And then we also have this one. This is the one where he kind of plays the mid-range with, which most Johnnies won't do because they just want to get in and do his brain dead pressure. But even this is good because he can play the mid-range with it, and then This is a 9 frame high also. So he has a 7 frame plus string, a 9 frame mid starter, and then he also has a good neutral button that he gets good meterless damage off of. This right here, same brain dead string, and then you end it how you want, with the kick or the nut punch. So now let's get into Kung Lao assist. I personally think this is currently his best assist, and this is the best team in the game. Now with the Kung Lao assist, you fix his one weakness, which is him not having a projectile. That weakness completely is gone. And now you even get more pressure on top of the pressure he already has. So this 9 frame mid that gets you 34 damage, 1 bar, now it's plus. You hit confirm it. Now this string right here where he goes low into overhead, now he has a low into low. This string right here off of his 9 frame mid that I also forgot to mention, which is a mid overhead. So while you're trying to fuzzy this string right here and trying to deal with this, the low and the overhead, you also have to worry about this mid overhead, which can throw off your fuzzy timing, dealing with this too. So now he gets a mid low, mid overhead. You gotta block this. You gotta deal with this. There's just so much stuff he has. And it's still all plus. He pokes you after. He continues his pressure. Everything about this character is just way too good. Like, the pressure is way too good. The damage he gets off of the easy, like, confirms is just way too good. Even though his damage is not too crazy. Like, I'll give him that. His damage is, like, above average, but it's not, like, too insane. But almost everything else is just overtuned. So now he gets this and he gets in for free. Because this covers his one weakness. He gets in. Now you got to deal with the dumb pressure. And then you got to deal with, you know, the staggers and the 9 frame mid. You got to deal with all this pressure. Then on top of that, top of all of this, his super, he has one of the best supers in the game. Now let's get into the hype meter system, which is another very good thing that he has. The hype meter stuff. He can do this right here, the whole hype meter stuff, and we're gonna put him to get hit. He can do this right here, and now he can chain all of his special moves. So he can do ignorant stuff like that. He can spam the nut punch and get like dumb easy combos off of this hype system. And another thing I want to mention that kind of doesn't like matter in this video too much, I guess it does a little bit. I have never seen a character that can cancel their special moves into each other that hasn't been top tier. That's just a little side note I want to throw in there. But now with this hype meter system, which he doesn't even need this, you could completely take this away and he's still the best character in the game. Like, think about that. His whole mechanic, which most people don't even need to use to win with him, you can completely remove this from the game and he is still the best character in the game. And it gives him access to crazy corner combos. And even without the hype meter system, corner stuff does a lot of damage. That's something like just basic right there. Or if you want to do something a little more like this right here, cancel that. Oh, do it right here. Corner combos are a little bit more intricate, but not that much. Just do something like that. And then you do standing for nut punch. It is really easy to do, but you know, if you're a fellow YouTuber, you know, you'll hit the same combo so many times without trying, but then when you're recording a video, see, like when I'm not thinking about it, right there, easy. 42%. Like literally 42% in the corner off of like a easy confirm. And I promise it's an easy confirm. Matter of fact, we're gonna do it one more time. Right here. That we're gonna do it 2 more times. Easy confirm. Easy. Gotta wait a bit. See, no problem. I had to throw that in there. I'm not y'all. If you're a fellow YouTuber, you get it. You know, same easy combos you hit when you try to record a video. It just magically don't want to work. But yeah, his combos are just completely easy to do, like no problem. And I'm not even sure if that one was optimal. And his character just has way too much. I think I covered it all. So we'll do a little recap. We got the amazing buttons, the easy plus frames off of these buttons right here. The and also he has decent meterless damage too. Something forgot to mention. Like if he doesn't want to spin the bar, he can just always confirm the 9-frame mid into this right here. Or actually, we can see if Lao Assist was still hit. Nope. But still, he can just do that for easy confirms. Always cancel into just easy. The character's just so easy. It amazes me like how a character this good can be so easy. Then he also has some of the best movement in the game with his wave dash. So best movement, and then the super. So much stuff. So much freaking stuff to talk about with this character. We can get into the super. If he practice settings. This super right here, which is one of the best supers in the game because it's a parry that you can cancel out of. And the only way to hit him out of it is to jump behind him and hit him. But if he has the star meter, he can just cancel it. So he has the best defensive super in the game. Some of the best pressure in the game. Some of the best movement in the game. Some of the best like plus frames in the game. Some of the best buttons in the game. And people still want to argue that this character is top 1? Absolutely insane. So I think we covered it all. If I missed anything, I will happily leave it in the comments below. This character is very overtuned and needs to be nerfed. So you can ask me, well, what do I think he needs to be nerfed about? I think they need to give him his old archetype back. His old archetype was perfect, in my personal opinion. He had to win neutral to get his pressure. He had amazing neutral buttons, and he had like no mids. I think that should be the same again. I think this mid, if they're not going to nerf it to like 11 to 14 frames, I think this should be a high, and they should give him like a different string that he's meant to get his main pressure off of. A 9-frame mid is crazy. And since he doesn't have a projectile, I would say at first that might be going a little too far, but that doesn't matter in this game because there's so many characters that can give you a projectile. That weakness is irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. But yeah, I just think he should have his old archetype back. You know, he's flooded. You can give him more plus frames if you want for all I care. As long as he doesn't have crazy mids, I'll be fine with how good he is. But a character like him should not have a mid that is this strong. I just completely disagree with it. Nobody should ever have a 9-frame mid, in my personal opinion. I also think he needs a slight damage nerf with all this. If they want to keep the mid the same, just give him a damage nerf. He should be hitting for like 30 in the combos where he's doing like something like this right here. Where that's doing like 32, I think that should be doing like 29. And when he's doing like 35, I think he should be doing like 31. You don't need all this insane pressure and slightly above average damage, in my opinion. And I think if he saw those two nerfs, we can start there. And then, because I don't want him killed. As crazy as he is a very cool character, which I hate to admit, he is probably one of the most cool broken characters I've ever seen. So I don't want him killed. Just want him like brought down a bit. Like he's just too strong and very unhealthy for the game in the state he is right now. So that's all I pretty much got to say about Johnny. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think about Johnny. And Nickopz out.